Hello, folks. So, I'm going to talk about another harmful programming that gets in our brains from the school system and work culture and all that stuff. Okay. All right. So, as a young child, the school system and parents as well teach us that doing what we want is bad and we have to not do what we want in order to be good. Okay, now children naturally do what they want, and sometimes what they do is nice, sometimes it's mean, but it's always what they want, right? So we're taught to stop doing what we want in order to sit still and silent in class, or stop doing what we want uh, in order to stop annoying our parents, or whatever it may be. So the lesson becomes what I want to do is not the right thing to do. Okay, so that's a screwed up programming that gets in our mind, but that's not the case at all. Okay, in fact, what we want to do is our freedom. That is how we are free, is by doing what we want to do. So doing what we want to do is not inherently bad like the adults teach the children. It just requires morality in order for what we want to do to be a good thing. Okay, so if someone that wants to do harm does what they want to do, that's bad because they are causing harm and they're doing evil. All right, but if we have morality, then what we want to do is good. If we want to help, if we want to give, if we want to do that, right? But a lot of times the programming um, teaches us that I have to give up what I want to do in order to help. Okay, so I have to give up something in order to help others. I have to give up something in order to uh, be kind. Like to be considerate, I have to sacrifice my authenticity, right? Or to be considerate, I have to sacrifice things that I want or things that I have, right? See, consideration is based on the false premise that being good requires a sacrifice. Okay? It doesn't. Being good does not require a sacrifice, and it's actually really pleasurable to be good. Okay? So what so the unmessing of the mind, right, for this is that you realize that uh, you don't need to have fear. This is another thing that is a big thing, which is a lot of times we fear people's reactions, all right, or we fear consequences for our actions, right? Even if it's something that's not necessarily a harmful thing, sometimes we just are afraid of the anticipation of a negative reaction. And the reason for this is that um, we are already inherently feeling guilty, okay? Um, because we're thinking that we're supposed to be pleasing others in order to be good and denying our authenticity in order to be good. Sometimes. I'm not saying all cases. I'm just saying this particular programming, okay? So you don't have to sacrifice authenticity to be good at all, okay? You don't have to sacrifice um, what you want to be good. You just have to develop a morality where you want good for others. And then what you want is good for others. Okay? And then, so you got to lose the fear. when you realize that what I want is good and is good for others, then you lose the fear of getting attacked for doing what you want. Because if you believe what I want is bad, then if somebody attacks you for doing what you want, you think it's justified, okay? So if you think what I want is bad, right? Not doing what I want is the right thing to do. Then if you do what you want, somebody yells at you, you think they're justified, okay? Because you already have the programming of what I want is bad, which is what the school system, the teachers teach the children, and the parents teach the children. And it persists in adulthood, and it creates a slave mentality because it makes you think what I want is bad, what the other person wants is good. Well, that's very easy for people who are in places of power, whether it be just your boss or it be a government. If somebody thinks what I want is bad, what the other person wants is good, well, that makes a good slave, doesn't it? Doesn't that make you a good slave if you have that programming? Right? So to flip it around, you got to realize what I want is good. And not only is it good, it's good for others if I want good for others. If I want people to be helped and to experience pleasure and kindness. All right? And then if somebody gets angry at you for doing what you want, you realize that you have good intentions and there's no reason to feel guilty. All right, so this is just what I've been thinking about lately. Figured I'd share that, and see ya.